Gary's a lot of things. He's a son. His father's here. He's a husband. I almost can see Jennifer through the lights. A father to 3 of the most spectacular young ladies you would ever have the pleasure to meet, who are sitting right up front. A lawyer to those in need, a partner and colleague, community builder, a leader, a connector, and for me, most importantly, he's my friend, and he's a mentor and a guide, a role model, as he is for many of us. Gary is the kind of person I hope to be. He's the kind of person that I hope my sons grow up to be like. He's a mensch. There's no better word to describe Gary Lesser than mensch. And there's no one deserving of any honor. And this honor is rather particular. It is very befitting of Gary. Over 100 years ago, the Anti-Defamation League was founded to stop defamation of the Jewish people and to secure justice and fair treatment to all. It's about supporting the Jewish people, but it isn't only about supporting the Jewish people. It's about everybody. Whether he's representing those injured and they're seeking their rightful compensation, and I want to be very clear about this, Gary and his partners represent people for their sake, not for the sake of the lawyers. They are the kind of lawyers that you would want to be. It's about just compensation for their clients, not what is just right for the lawyers. Whether he's making the world a better place by feeding the hungry or providing medicine to the sick, or providing a champion to those who can't fight for themselves, Gary does it all. He embodies what the ADL is about: support the Jewish community, never allow the defamation of our people or any people, and secure justice and fair treatment for everybody. Gary doesn't do this work tirelessly. Well, he doesn't do it just tirelessly. He works tirelessly, which I think is why he's tired so often. And those of you who've gotten your 3 and 4 a.m. emails and then had a 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock call know what I'm talking about. But as he does all of this, he does it in the right way. He's an example of what the Jewish people are about at our best. And he's an example of what the profession of being a lawyer is about when we're at our best. It's about ethics, honesty, integrity, professionalism, and heart. Imagine a world without hate, and what you're imagining is a world filled with people like Gary Lesser. He's the kind of lawyer and the kind of person that this award is about. He joins the likes of our friend Guy Fronston, who is an ADL Florida board member, and Judge Edward Rogers, who's received this honor as well. Gary, I can only tell you that you have honored me by asking me to help in honoring you. Your friendship, your example to me, to my wife, to my kids, is something that we all cherish very much. Without your leadership, your mentorship, and your friendship, I'm absolutely sure that I would not be who I am today. I look around the room and I see a lot of people, and I know I'm not the only one. When you talk about impacting lives, you talk about Gary Lesser. When you talk about bettering the world, you're talking about Gary Lesser. There's nobody more deserving of this honor than my friend, whom I love, Gary Lesser. So please join me in thanking him. Over 100 years of impact, the 2015 Palm Beach Jurisprudence Award presented to Gary S. Lesser in recognition of your outstanding contribution to the legal profession and the community at large. We are proud to salute you for your high ethical and professional standards, dynamic leadership, social responsibility, and passion for excellence. Presented by the Anti-Defamation League, May 12, 2015.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's pretty hard to follow the law enforcement award winners, and it's pretty hard to follow my dear friend Brian Seymour after that introduction. So I whispered in Hava's ear, I said, I'm going to go sit down now. But no, that's obviously not going to happen. I'm honored beyond words to receive this award tonight. I honestly can't believe the turnout. I didn't expect there'd be this many people who, listen, we're all busy, all of us, and we have jobs and families. I'm off script. And all of you took time to be here tonight for the Law Enforcement Award winners, and for me, and for the Anti-Defamation League. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for that. That is not my speech. I have a little bit more. I'm well aware of the collective effort that went to make this night happen. I want to thank the entire event committee. I want to thank Robin Bresky, who's the current statewide president for the Florida Association of Women Lawyers and many other obligations, and took the time to work hard for this event. I'd like to thank my friend Brian Seymour, who, I could say right back to you, Brian, what you said to me, but I won't, because you said it better than I ever could. You're someone who gives yourself 100% for causes and people you believe in. You're a true leader and a true friend, and I thank you very much. I want to thank my family that's encouraged and supported me over the years. Could my table 3 all raise your hands? We have my Uncle Ira and Aunt Jane, who are just the best uncle and aunt you could imagine. Uncle Ira last year delivered the best roast toast of anybody I've ever seen, and I happened to be the recipient of that. And he told stories that I asked him not to tell, and he told them really well. And as a physician, every day he's saving lives and helping people, and has been a role model to me, along with my Aunt Jane for many years. My father, Shep Lesser, is here tonight. Dad, would you just kind of raise your hand so everybody could see you? My dad and his wife, Lisi, are here, and there's something that you ought to know, that my father, Shep Lesser, was doing work for this community before I was born, before I even seemed like possibly a good idea one day. And my father taught me a lot of things. He taught me the value of working hard, keeping your word, and doing the right thing. Simple lessons that have carried me throughout my entire life, Dad. So thank you, and I love you. My mother, Stacy Brenner, couldn't be here in person tonight because she passed away a little more than 3 years ago. She had this great smile and this tremendous sense of optimism. And every day she believed that today was going to be a better day. And every day she believed that she could do something today that would make the world a better place. A tremendous role model for me, and someone who I've always tried to be like in that way. And I miss her very much. I feel that way every day when I wake up, that today's a day that I can be better, do better, and hopefully make things better for somebody else. There's so many people that came out here tonight, so it's risky to try to thank some people because you risk forgetting other people, and that's bad. I'd like to thank my brethren and sisters from the Florida Bar Board of Governors. They're the raucous table, they're the loud table. They came from Miami, they came locally. I had a buddy who drove in all the way from Tampa, and he's driving back tonight. I'm trying to get him to stay over. These are really good people who believe in the integrity of the legal profession, who believe in the independence of our judicial system, who believe in the rule of law applies for everybody in the state of Florida. And it's my honor and privilege to work with you. So thank you. I'd like to thank tonight's honorary event chairs that are here tonight. Mayor Jerry Moyo is here with her husband Chuck, Sheriff Bradshaw, and State Attorney David Attorney with his really new wife, Lynn. Can we give them all a big hand? I'd like to acknowledge members of my firm that are over here at table 4. Together, we get to work really, really hard. It's true, I don't sleep a lot. It's true. I work really hard. I like working hard. And together, we don't do TV or the top of the taxi or any of that. We just work really hard for our clients to try to win the cases and to try to help them through challenging times of their life. I'd like to give a special shout out to my partners, Joe Landy and Mickey Smith, who put up with me, who tolerate me, who support me, and who empower me to be here right now. I would be remiss if I didn't mention my grandfather, Joe Lesser, who started our firm back in 1927. He was a huge role model for me. I was talking to another gentleman tonight and a couple weeks ago about the amazing role grandparents can play. They don't have to do the dirty work. They can just impart values and give love. When I was a little boy, because you don't compute mortality when you're a kid. When I was little, I knew I was going to work with Grandpa, and it was going to be great, and we were going to laugh and have a great time, but I missed him by about 10 years. But I tell you what, my grandfather taught my father and I so many valuable lessons. He told us that lawyers have the best job in the world. We got to work hard for our clients, we got to work hard and help our community, and what could be better than that? I do wonder, though, what my grandfather would think about what's going on in the world today, because he was always the eternal optimist. He always believed that things would be good and be better. Now, as you heard from Hava, the Anti-Defamation League actually started in 1913 due to an escalation of anti-Semitic violence and hatred, culminating in the lynching of Leo Frank in Marietta, Georgia in 1913. The power of Google Maps tells me that my grandfather, Joe Lesser, lived in Rome, Georgia, 58 miles away. He was 14 years old when Leo Frank was lynched by a mob of hatred and violence. There was no internet, there was no Twitter, there was no email. And I can't ask him what he knew or what he thought about all of that. But we do know is half the Jews in Georgia left and half stayed. And I've often wondered why those stayed and those left. As Brian Seymour pointed out, the Anti-Defamation League was started because of anti-Semitism. But even at the outset, it had universalist goals to, and I quote, "Its ultimate purpose is to secure justice and fair treatment to all citizens alike and end forever unjust and unfair discrimination of any sect or any body of citizens." And over the years, the ADL has done just that. They've spoken against hatred based on someone's religion, color of their skin, sexual orientation, or nation of origin. As some of you may have read in the Palm Beach Post, a few weeks ago in Jupiter, a Hispanic community was threatened with violence, especially school-age children. And thank God for law enforcement, and thank God for Anti-Defamation League, which stepped in and stopped it, stepped in and publicized it. The Anti-Defamation League works every day, internationally, in our nation, and right here in our community. I'd like to thank all of you who came out here tonight. And again, I know some of you came out here for me, some of you came out for the well-deserved winners for the Law Enforcement Awards. But I have great news for you. All of us have a great opportunity tonight to help the Anti-Defamation League continue to do the work they've been doing. If you read the news, or you go online or watch TV, whatever your preferred method is, the world seems increasingly like a dangerous place. But I have a different point of view. I think that we are very fortunate. And there's a quote of Albert Einstein as follows: "The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of people who are evil, but because of people who don't do anything about it." And we are fortunate because we can do something about it right here, right now, tonight. Some of you generously sponsored this event, and I appreciate those who responded to emails and phone calls and that sort of thing. And I know many of you here tonight gave up your valuable money and time. So I do feel obligated to let you know that you will see this envelope on your table. We are fortunate because right now, anyone who chooses to do so can fight anti-Semitism. We are fortunate because right now, anyone who chooses to do so can fight racism. We are fortunate because anyone who chooses to do so can fight hatred right now, here tonight. You heard from Hava, you saw the video. I've also seen the video like 100 times, and every time it moves me, it touches me. We can empower and allow the Anti-Defamation League to do its job. Ultimately, that's what fundraisers do. Without the funds, organizations can't do their job. We used to think that progress was inevitable, that that was the direction of history, that things were going to always get better. Well, now we know and we can see how easily things can backslide in our own community, our country, and in the world. But we are fortunate that we have the opportunity to make things better. I think all of us have the opportunity tonight. All you got to do is open it up and fill in the amount that seems appropriate for you realizing that the task at hand will always be there. We're never going to make hatred go away, but wouldn't it be wonderful if we could minimize it, push it to the margins of society where it just won't be tolerable? My daughters go to a summer camp, and the first time I visited that summer camp, I said, no way, because I was bullied in summer camp, I got in fights at summer camp. The summer camp that my girls go to, the bullies are the outcasts. They're on the margins, and they don't come back next summer. That's something we all can strive for in our community, in our country, here together. So I'm going to close with this. I was having a drink with my friend Monty Resnick a few weeks ago. And for anyone who's ever had a drink with me, I don't really talk about sports anymore because they're all overpaid. So I sort of, don't follow that so much anymore. And I tend sometimes with a drink in my hand to get a little philosophical. And Monty and I were talking about doing good in the community and the opportunity to make a difference. And in that conversation, Monty shared with me one of his favorite expressions, which has stayed with me, which is why we're talking about it tonight. The best way to keep track of your life is not the hours on the clock, but rather the compass that are the morals and values that you follow. And that seemed very significant, Monty, so thank you for sharing that with me. I've always tried to do that, and the most important point on my compass is here tonight. My wife, Jennifer. And my 3 daughters, Lillian, Josie, and Rebecca. I want to thank my family for supporting me and believing in me that we all can make a difference together. You're the reason why I come home at the end of the day, and you're the reason why I smile every morning when I wake up ready to go. So, I thank all of you for coming tonight from the bottom of my heart. May we all go together from strength to strength with family and friends doing good in this world together. Thank you.